Alright, welcome back. I'm making like one video a week. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit more consistent than I used to be. But I need to make a video like every other day. That's what I need to. Anyway, I've been fiending, bro. I've been fiending for some Crimson Desert news, like anything new. And I just noticed that they have two videos on IGN. One is a 52-minute gameplay video. So I'm probably gonna do a separate video of watching that. But right now I'm about to watch this little 12-minute, it says Zelda and Assassin's Creed. For them to say Zelda, it has to be when he's like dropping from the sky. That's probably the only thing that's Zelda-ish that I think. And as far as Assassin's Creed, I'm not too sure what they could be talking about. Unless it's the combat or something, I don't know. But then again, the combat, nah, it doesn't look like no Assassin's Creed. It gotta be something else, right? Anyway, let's just dig into it, man. Let's dig into it. What's going on?
The bosses in Crimson Desert are powerful. I mean, really powerful. As the formidable Staglord grabbed me by the ankle and hurled me into a wall, the bone-crunching impact reminded me of how the strangest blows catapulted Kratos through tree trunks and mountains in God of War.
Okay.
This intense, deity-like physicality lends Crimson Desert's battles a sense of genuine spectacle. These are the gladiator battles of myths.
Okay. Yo, when does this game even come out, bro? Does this even have a release date? Like, when does this game even come out?
Last month, during an hour-long hands-on session at Gamescom 2024, I was able to go toe-to-toe with 3 different bosses, each of which showcased a different side to this fantasy action game's approach to battle. More recently, I was able to watch another hour of gameplay.
What the hell was that?
Toe-to-toe with 3 different bosses, each of which showcased.
Is that a cape, or did he just transform? It looked like his cape just transformed or something. Nah.
A different side to this fantasy action game's approach to battle. More recently, I was able to watch another hour of gameplay, this time a hands-off demonstration focused on exploration and questing. Together, these demos have given me a good indication of what Crimson Desert is. A game with combat that feels like a mix of God of War and Dragon's Dogma, set in a wider world where what you do is more reminiscent of the...
He said a combat that's mixed with God of War and Dragon's Dogma. That's a wild kind of combination he's throwing out there. I'm not gonna lie, I'm going through God of War right now. Not the first one, but 2018. I'm going through my first playthrough right now because I never got into God of War. I'm not gonna lie. Gameplay wise, I'm liking what I'm playing so far. I mean, the story isn't bad, but I'm not that invested. I just like the gameplay, really. You know, I mean, that's just me. Story isn't bad. I think I'm not that invested because I ain't played the first 3 or 4 God of Wars. Maybe that's why I'm not that invested. You know what I mean? I don't know. But the gameplay is dope though. I gotta say that.
The modern Assassin's Creeds and The Witcher 3. You play as Cliff, a warrior with a
wait. What? You said Witcher 3? Wait, hold on. What?
These demos have given me a good indication of what Crimson Desert is. A game with combat that feels like a mix of God of War and Dragon's Dogma, set in a wider world where what you do is more reminiscent of the modern Assassin's Creeds and The Witcher 3. You play as Cliff, a warrior with a gruff Scottish accent and a no-nonsense attitude. After a prologue establishes a bloody conflict between the Greymanes and the marauding Black Bears,
Well, he said Scottish accent, so it's gonna be like... I'm not gonna lie, the game is giving me Braveheart vibes just by the way it looks, right? And isn't Braveheart about like a Scottish dude, Mel Gibson?
Cliff's major goal is made clear. Explore the continent of Pywell in search of his surviving Greymane allies who have been scattered following the battle.
Die, Greymane!
Greymane. So I guess you're a Greymane? Drunken Blackbeard? Wait, so he said that the point of the game, at least in the beginning, is a battle happens, and then I guess after the battle is done, your team, your squad, or I guess your boys or whatever, they are scattered. I guess they all had to like maybe escape to survive, and maybe they all went different ways, and now you're trying to find them and I guess regroup. Is that what he's saying?
The bulk of the hands-off demonstration is set in Hernand, a medieval town populated by a fun range of fantasy races that wouldn't look out of place in any Tolkien-esque fantasy story. Cliff's interactions around its very beautifully rendered streets and roads are very much what you'd expect of a modern open-world action-adventure game. There's a horse you can whistle for, NPCs to be spoken to, and hostile regions to infiltrate.
Oh, real quick, this is totally random, has nothing to do with the video. If you have like a Keurig when you make coffee, or you just make coffee at home, yo, get you one of these like chocolate, like hot chocolate kind of like powder mixes, whatever. Get you one of these type of joints. Doesn't gotta be this exact same flavor, but get you one of these hot chocolate joints, powder. Throw that in your cup, put your Keurig on or whatnot. You don't have to add no sugar because the powder already has sugar or whatever in it. And you have like a chocolate mixed with coffee, bruh. That's it, bro. I just want to give you some game. That's it.
That last one is where Crimson Desert has a little fun, as the demo shows Cliff changing into Hernandian banquet attire in order to walk past a castle's guards unnoticed.
Oh, wait.
Seems like a permit. No clue where he got it.
We don't look like the troublemaking type.
Right, he can pass then.
Open the gate.
Wait. You could change your clothes to disguise yourself? Is that what you said?
Be spoken to, and hostile regions to infiltrate. That last one is where Crimson Desert has a little fun, as the demo shows Cliff changing into Hernandian banquet attire.
Oh, okay. You could just change your clothes just like that.
Crimson Desert has a little fun, as the demo shows.
Okay. So right, it says weapon, armor, character. Can you change your character or something? What does that mean? Weapon, armor, character. Okay, Cliff. Health, spirit, stamina, attack, defense, reputation. Attack speed, movement speed, critical hit chance, battery. Okay.
Shows Cliff changing
Alright, it's armor. Okay, you can change your clothes like
into
that. You can change your arm and leg stuff. Okay. I like seeing stuff like this.
Hernandian banquet attire in order to walk past a castle's guards unnoticed.
Oh, wait.
Seems like a permit. No clue where he got it.
Yo, that's kind of fire, bro. Hernandian banquet attire, so it lets you know, so you can, if you're in that area, you can just, and this is disguise, so that's okay.
Hernandian banquet attire in order to walk past a castle's guards unnoticed.
Oh, wait.
Seems like a permit. No clue where he got it.
Seems like a permit.
We don't look like the troublemaking type.
Right, he can pass then.
Okay.
Open the gate.
Much like how you can wear disguises in games like
okay.
Hitman and Kingdom
That's a
Come
different
Deliverance. I hope there are plenty of opportunities to do this, and various outcomes to your trickery. It would be fun if you could use disguises to open up new conversations, as well as gain entry into forbidden areas.
Yo, I just noticed something. I don't know when this game is coming out, so I'm not really pressed about it.
To open up new
But
conversations,
I just
as well as gain
noticed-
entry.
As I'm looking at the game, you can check it out for yourself. You can go on IGN, but the characters that are within a distance, if you notice, like these characters right here within a distance, they look, I don't know, they look like more cartoonish from a distance. Like the details don't really kick in until you're like right in their face. Apparently, like from this distance, this character right here looks like a painting. Like it's just like very like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like very cartoonish. Like his, like there's no real detail.
Into forbidden areas.
Wait, none of them saw that? Wait a minute. None of them heard that. None of them heard that? None of them heard that? Bruh.
Inside the castle, Cliff pilfers an Abyss artifact, which is where Crimson Desert gets a little more unusual.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. The reason why I pointed that out is because lately AI in video games have been annoying me because the AI, they just be moving in a way that's non-responsive. That's a big reason as to why I did not get Star Wars Outlaws. When I was watching the gameplay for it, the way the AI was moving, I'm like, bro, this game, it looks like it's just either way too easy or like the AI is just like, they're just waiting for you to kill them. Like that's the vibe that I got from it. I feel like a game like that, you can only enjoy it if you play it on the hardest difficulty level. And so that kind of turned me off. That's why I didn't play Star Wars Outlaws yet.
The device opens up a pixelated portal in a wall, and walking through it transports Cliff to the Library of Providence. There, an alchemist called Alastin reveals that the library is at the center of all worlds, and that there are beings who plan to bring everything to nothingness.
What is the reason you brought me here?
There are beings who brought chaos to Providence. The rifts they have created will return everything to nothingness.
While I can't say I'm impressed by Crimson Desert's writing in this demo, this
Wait, hold up. So wait, he grabbed a book and a book sent him out here? That's what they're trying to tell me? Is that what they're trying to tell me?
Inside the castle, Cliff pilfers an Abyss artifact, which is where Crimson Desert gets a little more unusual. The device opens up a pixelated portal in a
Oh, okay, it's an artifact he found in some kind of like library, basically.
wall, and walking through it transports Cliff to the Library of Providence. There, an alchemist called Alastin reveals that the library is at the center of all worlds, and that there are beings who plan to bring everything to nothingness.
Okay, I got it. I'm
While
caught
I
up.
can't say I'm impressed by
caught
Crimson Desert's writing in this demo, this exchange and several others feel cluttered and wrapped up in themselves. But it does point to a much grander
Quick question. Let me know how you feel about this. If you had to choose, what's more important to you? A fire story, like a really good story with like kind of mid gameplay, or like fire gameplay, like mad fun, you could do mad like cool things, unique things, right? Maybe even game changing things, like this industry changing things, but a mid story. What's more important to you? A mid story with fire gameplay mechanics, or fire ass story with mid gameplay mechanics? Like what do you think?
and a more mythical plot beyond Cliff's hunt for his allies. That ambition of something larger is made abundantly clear when Alastin's ally, White Crow, gives Cliff the glider-like Crow Wings ability, which allows him to leap off the library's floating island and reenact the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom's title sequence.
Okay. What just happened?
It's a little bold to use this motif. Can developer Pearl Abyss really craft something that lives up to the wider meaning of that iconic visual? But even if it falls short, the magnificent view and subsequent glide to Earth is a thrill all the same. Back on the ground in Hernand, a local
I'm not gonna lie, that looks good. Visually, that looks good. If it's just an easy transition like that, that's nice.
peacekeeper tasks Cliff with finding and eliminating some local bandits who fight using a red mist. Heading out in search of such villains, Cliff comes across a burning house and throws nearby vases of water to save the clergyman trapped inside. It's not clear from the demo if such objectives organically occur around the map, Red Dead Redemption 2 style, but what is soon clear is that this blaze is the work of those aforementioned bandits. The local church says one of their men, Hubert, fled the scene in an attempt to bait the enemies away, and asks Cliff to find him. The payment is another one of those Abyss artifacts, once again suggesting that the worlds beyond worlds are of vital importance to Crimson Desert's story. I hope this results in a decent amount of weirdness that helps set the largely typical setting apart from other fantasy games.
I can't believe it.
Hubert is found at a bandit camp that allows the demo to show off Cliff's stealth abilities. It's pretty classic stuff and looks very reminiscent of Silent Takedowns in the Assassin's Creed games. Not particularly challenging, but an alternative option to Crimson Desert's more publicised melee brawls. Hopefully when we go hands-on again, stealth will prove a worthwhile addition rather than a shallow tacked-on extra. With Herbert freed, Cliff is approached by the goblin Shakatu, a merchant of the Gold Leaves Guild. He explains that the Gold Leaves are currently under the command of the evil Splithorn. In return for killing this toxic leader, Shakatu offers money and his services, things Cliff believes will be helpful in finding the missing Greymanes.
I merely wish us to turn over a new leaf, a return to our former glory.
Arriving at the Goldleaf camp, it quickly becomes clear how all these quests are linked. The Goblin Guards use red mist as part of their battle tactics, and so reveal themselves as the very same miscreants that were causing trouble for the people of Hernand. And so Splithorn's death not only allows Shakatu to take over and help Cliff, but also fulfills the task set by the Peacekeeper back in town. I hope Crimson Desert features plenty more of these overlapping storylines, and forms a wider narrative that feels enjoyably interlaced. That would certainly make up for the uneven quality of the writing shown in the demo. Splithorn acts as the culminating boss fight of the hands-off demo, which brings us to the much more exciting side of Crimson Desert. He's agile and aggressive, wielding a sword that emits blasts of wind in vertical and horizontal patterns, forcing Cliff to dodge and block as he attempts to close the distance. But he's a pipsqueak compared to the brutes I face myself.
I like that. The way he did that little kick, like he kicked him while he was on the ground, like a little like field goal kick. That was dope. I like that.
In the hands-on demo at Gamescom. The first of the 3 bosses I clashed with was the Staglord. He's a relentless attacker, charging across the battlefield like a bullet train that can suplex you at its final destination. But despite his endless strength and capacity to throw you like a baseball, he's only human. I forced distance between us, quickly firing explosive arrows to knock him out of his attack pattern and open up a window to bury my blade in his back. The Staglord proves a real challenge of a fight. Crimson Desert is not even
Wait, what kind of attack was that? He did like he punched him after?
Firing explosive.
He punched him as a right punch.
Arrows to knock him out of his
And then he did like a left gut punch.
Attack pattern and open.
And then I don't know if that's a weak spot that he just opened up that little green Canadian leaf, whatever that is. And he tries to shoot it. That kind of reminded me a little bit of Forbidden West. Yeah. Horizon Forbidden West, where you do like an attack combo, and then it opens up like a weak spot where you can shoot to do more damage.
Open up a window to bury my blade in his back. The Staglord proves a real challenge of a fight. Crimson Desert is not even remotely as Souls-like, but it's not afraid to make you work really hard for victory. I spend much of the lengthy fight learning the complexities of its combat system. Similar to this year's Dragon's Dogma 2, there's no lock-on, and so I have to be mindful of where I position Cliff and where his sword will land. Rolling forward allows me to instantly follow up with a sweep kick that surprises my foe, and then hitting both the light and heavy attack buttons together unleashes a wide, particle effect spraying strike that cleaves a chunk out of the Staglord's health bar. All this is speedy without sacrificing weight. It feels fantastic, but it's also easy to let things run away from you. I soon realize I need to be chowing down on health restoring food with addiction-like frequency.
Okay.
With the Staglord defeated, I take his mighty sword and shield, and the demo skips me ahead in the story, throwing me into snow-coated lands. Here, Cliff is looking for children who have seemingly been sacrificed to some kind of mountain spirit. Such a spirit turns out to be the White Horn, a sort of antlered, abominable snow deer that acts as the first showcase of just how different each of Crimson Desert's bosses can be. This colossal creature moves like a bucking bronco, and its galloping charges cause the mountains around us to break out in miniature avalanches that leave me temporarily frozen in place. Thankfully, after striking it so much that its white fur is stained almost completely red, I'm able to clamber onto its back in the fight's second phase and stab away at its flesh. The moment once again had me recalling my battles with towering monsters in Dragon's Dogma 2 earlier this year. Unlike the little Splithorn back at the Goblin camp, these much larger bosses have 3 health bars, with each one eliminated increasing the intensity of the fight. But where the Staglord and White Horn scraps seem to escalate much like many other action game boss battles, my final battle against the Queen Stoneback Crab demonstrated Crimson Desert's ambition to create memorable moments through very different mechanics. The Queen Stoneback Crab is colossally big, it fills the screen, and smartly, you can't fight it by just hacking away at its shins. Instead,
if anybody played Final Fantasy 15 with Noctis and his little squad, I don't know if you remember fighting. If you ever tried to, after you beat the game, after you beat the main story, you have access to fight like this mountain, but it's not really a mountain. It's actually a big ass turtle that is the size of a mountain. That's what this reminds me of. But obviously, this is way smaller.
is a puzzle set piece that's clearly inspired by Shadow of the Colossus. I clamber onto the crab's stony shell and grab onto the grass and flora that forms its fur, holding on for dear life while pulling myself up towards a trio of rock formations. Using a special punch skill, I shatter each of the rocks to expose a weak point that I plunge my blade into. Each open wound causes a geyser of water to blast out, which not only provides a visual spectacle, but also throws me high into the air. From above, I'm able to float down using the Crow Wings ability and plan on how to tackle the next stage. Now I'm tasked with destroying the pottery-like crown at the peak of the crab's mountain-like shell. A task completed by swinging Spider-Man style from a web and colliding with the pottery at full speed. It's all delightfully bonkers. My hour-long session wasn't quite long enough to try...
What the hell? Hold on, what the hell was... What, he just...
with the pottery at full speed. It's...
Did he shoot like a web at the monster or something?
All delightfully bonkers.
Is that how you killed it?
My hour-long session wasn't quite long enough to try all 4 of the bosses the demo had to offer, but a video presentation provided a quick insight into the only one I missed, the Reed Devil, a weird little guy who creates copies of himself that can only be defeated by destroying totems that are built during the battle. Along with the 3 I fought, all 4 bosses make a promise that Crimson Desert features an array of creative, unique centerpiece battles. If they're all like this, then
I love the fact that he has like a grapple ability. I think that's fire, bro. I love games when they allow you to grapple, like do grapple attacks. That is so dope.
Pearl Abyss could really have something special on its hands. I'm similarly impressed by the combat system's fundamentals. Yes, it's all quite Fantasy 101. Bows, swords, shields, parries, but it's all delightfully aggressive and properly impactful. There's a seemingly deep combo system too, and it's because of that I wish the demo had had a section that was a little more relaxed for me to sample. The heat of a relentless boss battle isn't quite the space to learn and perfect button sequences, but I've got a good feeling you can pull off some cool stuff based on the combos that I did learn. It's a big green light for Crimson Desert's combat then. As for its adventuring chops, things are looking a little more conventional. Pearl Abyss certainly seems to be making a solid enough transition from the MMORPG design of Black Desert Online into single-player territory, but I don't think anything shown in the hands-off demo particularly breaks new ground. Much of it is very familiar if you've played the likes of Assassin's Creed or The Witcher 3. Nonetheless, it does look largely well put together. While I do hope that the Abyss Artifact storyline goes suitably off the wall, I'd like to see the more typical fantasy storylines find suitable hooks to ensure regular gameplay feels more varied and creative than what we've seen so far. With a combat system that shifts from classic sword and board action to slingshotting Spider-Man style round a walking mountain, the questing and exploration side of Crimson Desert ideally also needs to aspire to that kind of diversity. But even if it doesn't, this latest slice of gameplay certainly suggests that the bridges between epic boss battles will be solid, if not the most memorable aspect of the experience.
Nah, that combo he just did, you can't tell me that wasn't hard. That was tough. That combo he just did was tough. Hold up.
Diversity. But even if it doesn't, this latest slice of gameplay
first he like stabbed through him,
suggests
turned back around,
that the bridges between
he like basically like stepped on him and jumped up, got high in the air, came back down with a fucking down strike attack.
Epic boss battles
and then he booted him.
Will be solid, if not the most memorable aspect of the experience.
That's fire.
For more from Crimson...
Wait, hold on, I gotta see one more. How much damage did that do? Look at his health before he started that combo.
This latest slice of gameplay certainly suggests that the bridges between epic boss battles will be solid, if not the most memorable aspect of the experience.
Yo, even after he kicked him, when dude was in the air, when he landed back on the ground, him hitting the ground took some damage too. I'm not gonna lie, gameplay looks pretty dope, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
For more from Crimson Desert, check out the entire 52-minute gameplay demo. And for everything else, stick with IGN.
Yo, gameplay looks dope, bro. I'm not gonna lie. This looks like one of those games. This looks like one of those games where you can really probably enjoy the gameplay, especially if it's on some open world stuff. Like, you can really enjoy the gameplay. Like, the story might not really hit. You know what I mean? Like, the story might not really hit. I mean, the story could possibly hit, but for me, it might not hit. Who knows? But the gameplay, this might be one of those scenarios where the story might be mid, but the gameplay could be fire. You know what I mean? Like, that looks, I'm not gonna lie, that looks fun, bro. I'm down. I'm ready for that. What y'all think, man? Y'all think it's gonna have a mid story and fire gameplay, or you think it's gonna be the opposite? Like the question I asked earlier, I'm down for a mid story fire gameplay. I'm down for that. I'm okay with that. Sure, I would love to have both fire mid, fire story, fire gameplay, but if I have to choose, I would rather mid gameplay. I mean, fire gameplay, mid story. I don't want mid gameplay, fire story. I mean, I think I just have more fun if the gameplay is fire. Because if the gameplay is fire, I could create my own story in my head, honestly. If the gameplay is fire, I can make the story in my mind whatever I want to make it. So, anyway, let me get ready. I'm gonna get ready to watch the next video. I want to watch that 50-minute video.